Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the audience. Welcome to our seminar for today. First of all, I would like to thank to all the audience that joined this seminar. For your information, when our seminar is going to start, you are required to turn off your microphone to avoid from any noisy sound so that the other audience can focus this seminar. Thank you for your cooperation. So, without delaying any time, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Wardina binti Abdul Aziz as a host for today's seminar. Okay, let's move to our topic for today's seminar. The topic is about communication in professional manner. We are going to talk about the best way to deal with difficult customers, example of appropriate phrases, how to dealing professionally with stress and disappointment, and example of sign stress. Before we are going to discuss our topic for today, let's get to know our presenter for today. Our presenter for today is Miss Alia Natasha binti Afzainizal from Alor Kedah. So, without delaying any time, I will hand over this seminar to our presenter to start discussion about the topic I told before. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you Miss Wadina for giving me this opportunity to talk about this. It's great to be speaking with all of you today. As told by Miss Wadina, my name is Nur Alia Natasha binti Afzainizal. So today, I'm gonna talk about communication in a professional manner. This is the best way to deal with difficult customers. First and foremost, listen to them. Do not talk over the customer or argue with them. Let the customer have their say, even if you know what they are going to say next, and even they may not have all the information or be mistaken. As you listen, take the opportunity to build rapport with the customer. Second, you can build rapport through empathy. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. Echo back the source of their frustration and show that you understand their position and situation. If you can identify with the customer's issue, it will help calm them down. If you verbally nod during the call, the customer will feel better understood. Third, lower your voice. If the customer gets louder, start speaking more slowly and in a lower tone. Your calm demeanor will reflect on them and will help them to settle down. As you approach the situation with a calm, clear mind, unaffected by the customer's tone or volume, anger will generally dissipate. Fourthly, you need to assume that all your customers are watching. Just pretend you are not talking to the customer, but to an audience that is watching the interaction. This shift in perspective can provide an emotional buffer if the customer is being verbally abusive and will allow you to think more clearly when responding. Since an unruly customer can be a negative referral, assuming they'll repeat the conversation to other potential customers can help ensure you've done your best to address their concerns in a calming way. Fifthly, always know when to give in. If not satisfying, the customer is going to take 2 hours and a bottle of aspirin and risk negative referrals. It is probably better to draw a compromise a bit more in their favor to give you more time to nurture your more productive customer relationships. Keep in mind that the interaction is not typical of most customers and that you're dealing with an exception. Then, never get angry or upset. If the customer is swearing or being verbally abusive, take a deep breath and continue as if you didn't hear them. Responding in kind will not solve anything, and it will usually escalate the situation in a negative direction. Instead, remind the customer that you are there to help them and their best immediate chance of resolving the situation. Often this simple statement will help diffuse the situation. After that, never take it personally. Always speak to the issue at hand and do not get personal even if the customer does. Remember that the customer doesn't know you and they are just venting frustration at you as a representative of your company. Gently guide the conversation back to the issue and how you intend to resolve it, and try to ignore personal comments. Also remember that you are interacting with a human. Everyone has bad days. Maybe they had a fight with their spouse, got a traffic ticket that morning, or have had a run of bad luck. We've all been there to some degree. Try to help make their day better by being a pleasant, calming voice because it makes you feel good too. Next, if you promise a call back, then call back. Even if you promise an update that you don't have yet, call the customer at the scheduled time anyway. The customer will be reassured to know that you were not trying to dodge them and will appreciate the follow-up. Finally, summarize the next steps. At the end of the call, let the customer know exactly what to expect and then be sure to follow through on your promises. Document the call to ensure you are well prepared for the next interaction. So, there are 10 ways to deal with difficult customers. There are some examples of appropriate phrases that you can use to deal with customer, whether through phone conversation or face-to-face. For example, for phone conversation is, "I beg your pardon, can you please tell us what is the issue?" And, "Can I have your name and contact number? I will check for you." Meanwhile, for face-to-face conversation is, "Please have a seat, calm down, let us discuss about your issue slowly." And, "Sir, can we talk outside and have some drink?" So, that are the example of phrases that you can use. This can make your customer feel calm and can discuss well. Now, let's move to the next point, which is how to deal professionally with stress and disappointment. What is stress? Stress is a normal human reaction that happens to everyone. In fact, the human body is designed to experience stress and react to it. When you experience changes or challenges, stresses, your body produces physical and mental responses. So that is stress. Firstly, you need to talk to HR. If you are prone to anxiety and depression, it's good to speak to either HR or a direct supervisor about your difficulties. If you feel like you are able. After you've been hired, most employers want to help you become the best employee you can be. That may mean that you need to ask your manager to communicate with you differently or help you build back up your confidence instead of throwing you straight into a difficult situation. HR representatives can help you determine your course of action if you have difficulty. You can also talk to them if you need further help or medical attention. Secondly, Try to stay prepared. If you know you are going to be facing a difficult project, presentation, or other anxiety-evoking tasks, do some extra preparation. Even though it takes more time, a positive experience doing something you dread can build confidence and make subsequent tasks easier to handle. Next, you need to be kind to yourself. You can't be great at everything, and sometimes disappointments come more often than congratulations. The difference between overly stressed people and others is the way they handle the disappointment. Let yourself feel sad and angry for a minute, but then force yourself to look at everything you did right. By not dwelling on the mistakes, you can identify your strengths and help yourself bounce back. Instances of disappointment can only affect your life if you let them. Finally, enlist your support group. If you are struggling emotionally, it may be difficult to see things in the right light. If you had a hard time implementing any of the other techniques, call on someone in your support group. Relating what happened to a third party can sometimes clarify a situation and help you see the circumstances in a rational light. It may be that simply talking out loud about a situation will help you see points that were skewed in your head. The worst thing you can do is bottle up your emotions and keep your struggle to yourself. While you may think it's the professional way to handle your feelings, it can actually be detrimental for your health. So, we have reached to the last point for today's session, which is example of signs of stress. Physical symptoms of stress include low energy, headaches, upset stomach including diarrhea, constipation and nausea, aches, pains and tense muscles, chest pain and rapid heartbeat, insomnia, frequent colds and infections, and loss of sexual desire and or ability. So, that are some examples of signs of stress. In conclusion, it is important for employers to recognize work-related stress as a significant health and safety issue so that they can deal with their stress professionally. A company also can and should take steps to ensure that employees are not subjected to unnecessary stress. I think that's all from me for today. With that, thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alright, thanks to Miss Alia for giving a speech just now. I hope all the audience understand what Miss Alia said earlier. So, our seminar for today has finished discussing about communication in a professional manner, which is covering about the best way to deal with difficult customers, example of appropriate phrases, and how to dealing professionally with stress and disappointment, and example of science stress. We also running out of time and have arrived at the end of the seminar. As a conclusion for the seminar, we need to deal with customer well so as not to increase their anger. Before we end this seminar, I would like to thank for our presenter, Miss Alia, who is here to give a speech for the seminar. I hope that this seminar will provide useful information to all of you. Lastly, I hope to see all of you again in next seminar. Inshallah, thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.